We've been practicing this method of indirect measurement using similar figures. We did it to find the height of a tall tree in the middle school field, and we also practiced some problems today. So let's work on this problem number 4. A surveyor needs to find the distance AB across the pond. So if you wanted to measure the distance from A to B, and you didn't want to wade into that pond and get all wet, you might use a method of similar triangles like we see here. He constructs CDE, similar triangle CDE, which is similar to triangle CAB, and measures the distances as shown in the figure. Find AB, the distance across the pond. So we have to recognize that we have these two similar triangles, and the shortest side of CDE is this 12. So if I compare the shortest side of CDE to the shortest side of the larger triangle, the shortest side of the larger triangle is actually x. 12 over x should be equal to this medium length side, the other leg of this triangle, which is 25, over this leg, CA, which is 60. We could also have figured out what the corresponding sides are from the similarity statement. So DE are the last two letters, AB are the last two letters. So that's how I know it should be 12 over x. And then CD are the first two letters, CA are the first two letters, and so 25 over 60. This is pretty easy to solve even if we just go to a cross product equation, but there's an opportunity here on the right side of this proportion to simplify by factoring out a common factor of 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 60 divided by 5 is 12. I just realized that I want you to why don't you try to solve for x from here, and then you can check your answer when you come back from the pause.
Paused.
Sometimes when we simplify one of the fractions in our proportion, it reveals a scale factor. In this case it didn't, and not an easy one anyway. I don't see an easy way to get from 5 to 12. So I will actually use the cross product equation, but at least by simplifying it we're dealing with smaller numbers. 12 multiplied by 12 is equal to this other cross product, which is 5 multiplied by x, which is just 5x. 12 times 12 is 144. And we can solve for x by dividing both sides by 5. I can undo multiplying by 5 here by dividing by 5. That will give me 1x, which is x. I have to do the same thing on the other side because of property of equality. And so we get x is equal to this quotient, 144 divided by 5. There's 0, 5, and 1. 0 5s and 1. There are 2 5s and 14. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract, you get a difference of 4, and bring down this 4. There are 8 5s and 44. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract and we get 4. I'd like to represent this as a decimal, so I'm going to show the decimal and the 0 in the tens place. Line up my decimal and my quotient and bring this 0 down. There are exactly 8 5s and 40 with a remainder of 0, so we're done. So 28.8 is x, and since these measurements were in yards, 28 and 8/10 yards is the distance from A to B. I'm going to put it on the figure, 28.8, and make sure it looks reasonable. This side of this small triangle is less than half of this longer side, and 28.8 is less than half of 60 because half of 60 is 30, so it looks like a pretty reasonable measurement to me. I hope that helped. I'll see you tomorrow.